13-5 for Complexity after Pearl. Man, what a map. I mean, at least one of the closer ones we had today. And Tanner, we were expecting that to almost be even closer, but Triad, Complexity's composition, I mean, we had stars in our eyes, no pun intended. It was really fun to watch. They played so well off of each other, right? The Cosmic Divide with the Sage Barrier for plants, the Hunter's Fury on the post plant, Viper Talk Screen for the real estate. Feels like Complexity's composition was so great to watch on the offense.
There was so much into this composition, and it was so cool to see because, again, we haven't seen this composition from anybody else, any other team. It's the first time that we actually get to see it. They played this before, but it was a match earlier on today, so now we get to see kind of what they were planning. And I love the idea of the heavy post-plant utility, and also the way that we're meeting that aggression that they expected from CLG, sometimes with the Astra Star, and then Jazzykins, the one that we know on the duelist role, actually on the Sage, but still managing to get that combination and to frag out the way that she did.
Yeah, and I like the way that you phrased that, especially talking about the Viper utility when the real estate taken. That was kind of the name of the game. Obviously, that's what you do in Valorant, sure, but Complexity, I mean, they came wallets full, and they were buying property after property. They were going from A to B. I mean, I'm going to pause for a second because 15 first kills to 3 is absolutely insane. If you don't have first kills like that, this does not work. Obviously, that's an obvious statement, Tanner, but the way that they were just walking into sites, using very, very minimal utility, and then walking out and being able to play the post.
With no duelists.
With no duelists. Yeah, exactly. So to have this many first bloods, it's the only way that Complexity can make this one possible. And I mentioned it, right? Dodona had to be our player to find kind of the stick in the mud, right? What was going to make this machine slow down a little bit, the machine that is Complexity, and it was just way too well lit.
you tried to slow them down as much as you could, right? I remember there were some ideas like Athena's fault line, like when you had the run it down, come through mid, Complexity, you hear them sprinting from miles away, and it felt like they just couldn't be stopped. Jazzykins, obviously your MVP. We brought up the stats actually before the series about how this was going to be a duelist off. No duelist there, but she fragged like a duelist. I remember at round 4, she was like 9-1 when it comes to kills and deaths. Like, Jazzykins is having a performance of a lifetime. But Tanner, we also got to give credit to MLE and just the effort, the solid performance, but just her team is just not able to adapt to this composition.
There was too much for the Astra to be able to do alone. A lot of situations where you're looking to plant and you have a few stars to play with, but you have so much more to worry about than just blocking off sight lines, tossing up a smoke, and being able to conceal the spike. All the utility still available for Complexity. It just made it so difficult for the lone controller in Emily to really do more than they did. It felt very, very impressive, and this was a map that I thought was going to go a little bit further in way of rounds.
I just don't think anybody's expecting this composition, and even if CLG had some time to look at what this side of Complexity was running in that first match, you cannot really watch it or prepare in time. So it is kind of the composition, the ideas were great, but Complexity was just one step ahead, and that's kind of what you're expecting, right? When you're running this composition from the beginning, you've been practicing with it, and you were practicing against different compositions, including the one that CLG was running, which is pretty standard overall with the same agents that we're used to seeing in this map. I just think Complexity is one step ahead, and they've been talking about it on Twitter. They look really comfortable when it comes to kills, and now they're showing it on the mainstream as well.
I do want to mention briefly that this is a strange composition, sure, but it's not what we normally see in a team of Complexity that plays the Harbor and things of the like. They do it on different maps, and then they bring something completely different. It's not the Harbor and the Viper here on Pearl. So it is really strange, and it's I think when you have a performance like that, you really do believe that Sloth, the coach for Complexity, has been cooking, and they are finding out what works for their team specifically. They're not necessarily just living in the meta, having a jet op. They're just finding out what works for their 5 players.
I think that's important though, because we saw the first bloods that were going for this side of Complexity on the attacking and defensive side. I think it maybe would have been a different story if the Donut was actually on this jet with the op, where you're expecting that forward positioning. Instead, every single time that CLG was going for that aggression with the race, it was getting shot down again by the Astro Stars, the Viper utility, everything. It was such a good plan for Complexity.
And, well, it was a plan, a decent play for CLG in terms of they picked the map and didn't end up going as far as they thought they could. But we go to our next maybe deciding map, match point for complexity. We go to Fracture. Oh, boy, Tanner, a very strong map for complexity. We were getting map 3 vibes before the series started, but where are your expectations now after seeing how Pearl went down?
Yeah, my original thought was map 3 because CLG was going to win Pearl. And they were obviously thinking that too, having seen some, I guess you could say, lackluster performances from Complexity being taken pretty deep. 23 rounds in 3 of their games on Pearl. Now that that map went the way of Complexity, I don't know if I still believe in, you know, anything is possible, but Complexity looks so good on Fracture, and CLG... Yeah. They've played it recently, but once recently. And then since then, they haven't played it since last year. So they're going to have to do something insane. We need to see the numbers that we saw from Dodonut coming into the series in this map specifically if we are going to get a third.
We need a louder donut. Donut? No. Donut all the way. Okay, we need them to be way louder. Got shut down on the Raze ultimate. We need to see them step up to the no duelist comp. Speaking of that triad, last time we talked about Fracture, you said that there were no duelists being used by Complexity. Are you expecting that to continue to be the trend? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as we taught Tanner?
Well, I mean, for Complexity, the matches that they've had so far, they played Fracture twice, and nobody has been able to take more than 2 rounds away from them, which is absolutely insane. And even the teams that right now in Game Changers you consider to be at the top, nobody else is putting up that one-sided score the way that Complexity is doing. So I'm for sure expecting that.
Well, I'm expecting a game 2, and I'm also expecting Vans and Rivington to be ready this time. Boys, wake up, power turn on, internet go, and Vans yell through it.
Thank you so much to our friends here at the desk. We're ready this time. We're awake, Riv. And this time we're moving into Fracture. So yes, what we're currently seeing usually for Complexity, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, the last time they played it was a 13-0 on this map, bringing out a Raze into their composition. But on the other end for CLG, we actually haven't seen them play in a very long time, at least in this open qualifier for the Game Changers this year. So I'm intrigued to know what we're going to pull out for this one for CLG.
I gotta see for the picks and bans here if they stay true. Last time we actually saw what they usually played, so I'm excited to see what they delve into, and maybe they have something here. This is like an upper qualifier, really. It's the upper quarterfinal, but it's a qualifier, and this has a lot of weight on it. And Complexity came out swinging for that first match, so I think we stay true to the guns, but something could change here on Fracture.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, staying true to the guns for CLG. Last time I saw this was like, what, a double initiator that we had. We had a Fade coming out too, which could still be very, viable on this map, but we're changing things off the gate. I think it was a Breach and a Fade that was on before. This time it's a Breach and a Sky. So going 4 flashes, still having great scouting opportunities with the Trailblazer. But what's your take on this now, Riv?
I like the Sky a lot more recently. I think once it worked, Fade has its place. It works really well. I feel like it's better at pushing people off angles as well as when you prowl them in the face. But that detection you get from Sky, especially if your team wants to move fast with the duelist, is almost imperative. She's becoming such a big player again. And really getting like that Killjoy treatment almost. We're seeing Killjoy everywhere now. Sky is starting to fit that role too. So CLG here coming out, I think, with a bit of the stronger composition, but I said that about Complexity last time. I was like, I don't know about this Sova. So what do I know? What do I know? We're going into map 2. Let's see if we can actually plan out a bit of what they're doing so I can show you that I am slightly knowledgeable. Lots of pings on the right side, Vans. No, I'm just kidding. We're starting off one hold south side, and it looks like a south side push here that may actually come to fruition for the side of CLG too. So I think once we hear Han make the call, they're going to rotate for CLG.
Already comes up too. There's the push on the other end. It's been spotted by an alarm bot, so we're still pushing forward for Claudio, who is that flank watcher. Nanostorm on the top of hand and trying to delay as much as we can, but it's not going to do anything. So a 5-player... a full team retake for CLG. As 4 of them are moving up towards that tree. A nice little nebula being set up for the arcade as Claudia is just waiting for everybody to pass by and going for a late lurk herself. A backstab in the end, but we're still initiating into this B site. Emluo, the first kill into this round. As Lace is watching the angle from the arcade side. Han going in for the support. A right-click battle on the top here at the B heavens, and the flank comes in. Is it too late? Indeed it will be. As everybody else falls for complexity, and CLG comes in with the pistol.
You don't deserve my
They came like they were the ones trying to plant the second spike, man, silly. That was awesome. I'm like, wait, who's taking, who's retaking? That looked exactly like an offensive team flying through. And I guess that's what you have to be as defense after post plant. Nicely done. Emluo with a hop, skip, and a jump up to start things off. Honestly, if they go down, then the rest of the team follows through. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Oh, I like that. I like that.
Nerd.
Yeah. Crazy tech. Sticking mollies in the window.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a push again towards the south side. A-Halls has been taken 2 rounds so far by CLG. Not fully this time. They did have 3 on it last time, though. But a switch in-house complexity is playing this one with the 4-1. So orb control on both sides. We're going to wait to grab this one. But underneath is going to be arcade orb. Let's see who gets it. Looks like it's going to be Raze actually focusing these.
Yep. Trying to get that orbital strike up ASAP.
Yeah. And one smoke, too. That's actually a lot of econ save for a Brim. If they're really going for this to play, they're going to go all smokes, but one in a death ball is going to be the situation here.
But it's a one and done.
Oh, they're looking for a kill.
The B side. Yeah, we're pushing towards the spawn. The Han's still holding around the corner. Crossfire is soon to be set up. Actually, it's just going to be a solo hold finally, as there's pressure coming in to rotate. Finally comes across from the spawn. And there you go. Emluo rotating out from the spawn site into Canteen, dropping it to, including the spike. And Emluo's turn to actually build up the ultimate orbs. 1 away from bringing the lockdown into their bonus round on 3rd.
How about a switch for that? Really nicely played, too, noticing the Spectre was down. And that, in the position of Canteen and Spawn, that's close enough for a Spectre and trying to peek it to do a lot of damage. So you need to act on that. Instant rotation out of tower. And nice job for A to rotate over. So quick thinking. CLG on their toes to start these few rounds off and not let Complexity get through. Cheeky play by Complexity, though. So neat from both sides. I like the way they're using this comp. Like I said, they're going to have to stick together with whatever they do. So we're going to see them with little ropes tied to each other, I think, when the majority of the team makes the play. And Claudia is on the other side of the map, as we usually see with this turret. Watch at least one side.
I like it. We're baiting out utilities, so that gravity well already came out, but the fault line's still available. Second star being placed down. And you saw that it was Jazzican going for a fake paint shells. Trying to bait out at least the paint shells coming out from Dodona with the gravity well nade.
Yeah.
But CLG thinks otherwise, and even Complexity decides to fall back. Meet up with everybody on the top of the north side of the map. And we're towards the arcade and dish side.
So this will be a first. Easy rolling all the way up. And going B for the first few rounds here has allowed CLG to push through, and that's exactly the route they're taking. Do they choose to back up, though? They're reconsidering it. You can actually see Emily making that play. Here we go, Jazzykins to get a start off with the shells.
Somehow the paint shells goes out towards the Raptors, lands on the feet of Han, and we already have a 4v4. So the initiation of pushing towards the B site, a satchel charge to push through as Jazzican gets traded out by Dodonut. A 3v3, we fight back towards the A side as it's planted for A long.
Claudia.
Off angle, lining up both of them as they get the trade up, but Race is on a 2 versus 1, but off that kill has the orbital strike. Open up this hell. Tap comes down, orbital strike out. No kills coming in. At least actually does so onto Emluo, and there's the molly.
6 seconds.
That's going to end it right there. 7.5. It's a GG right there.
Who's the old dog now?
Yeah, like you said, that almost has to start earlier, right, to even have a chance. Nicely played, and Vansili playing to all of those alt orbs in the last few rounds comes into play. The clutch comes through, the orbital strike is there. Had they not grabbed double orb that one round, they would have not had this possibility here. So nicely thought out for a bit of the future play. Complexity grabs himself around based on that post-plant play. We now see it's going to be a switch-up of the 4-1. It is going to be now Claudia watching the bottom side of the map. And they keep all this Killjoy utility at B so far. 3 at A should be safe. You always have Raze to come in off of this breach, this flash and blast pack. Or I'm sorry, fault line blast pack. And they're going to see if anybody's covering satellite again. I mean, we saw this last round. Nobody was satellite. And I don't think they even heard that orb.
Rotate's still coming through, though. Look at
it. It is.
Moving across.
It's a good call on that rotate.
And a little paying passively. They have the lockdown to work with for the retake if needed.
Did they go get orb for Jazzy?
Sure feels like it. Sure feels like it. This could allow an orb and execution up towards B heaven.
Yeah. So Emilio should hear this. And we don't see many teams like do this much orb focus. It feels cool though. Got to play towards the ultis. Here we go.
Be even crazier if Jazzigan's gonna showstopper into spawn, knowing that they have a lockdown for a retake for Emluo, and she's walking right in there, waiting just around the corner. Flatten out coming down. Jazzigan's waiting off the boost as well from the wall. Just spotted Emluo. That's gonna disrupt for a bit. Not allowing for the lockdown to come down yet. Triple flank coming in from B main. As Claudia turns away for the second kill, cannot get the third. As it gets traded off, the lockdown will not be used at all because they're such at a disadvantage for the last two players of CLG.
And Complexity doesn't even have to flex the showstopper. They have control of the round, get to hold that. Wow. Really working the map left and right. Complexity kind of going in on all their plays last time. This time, I feel like they were picking CLG apart before they really want the plays. 4v2 here, and the round will go out to a save as this goes off at finalizing at B site. Nicely done. So that's what, 3 in a row? Is that 2,900? Still really no big buy here coming for CLG, I think. See this economy as we come into the next round.
Yeah, 2 here, so we'll still be okay maybe for like a half buy around what we got. I think you're right here, Riv, to just save your weapons, live to fight another day.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't used a showstopper. Don't use a lockdown. Try to use it in this one here. You see the purchase of the Bulldogs coming out as well. Oh, we're buying around this. We're definitely buying around this.
Ooh, okay. And they go for a heavy, too, with that. Okay, so FAMAS for Dodo. Ultimate there, so they can still use that back. Try to retaliate. I mean, it's 2v2, or 2v2, 2-2-2. They want to break away the score line and try to get that economy back.
That's Lace watching that flank from the north side. Double flash pushing her away. ADSing off that Bulldog is going to be Dodonut. But Jazzigan's already made it inside the site, so from the pressure moving in from the flank, they didn't want to invest into the showstopper to even open up the A site. Another attempt to retake a replay from a lockdown available, this time in a 5 versus 5. Both ults available for both of the agents, being the Killjoy and this Raze. Pressure on A main, very important here. Showstopper off a flash, lands at the feet of Emily, and that cancels out the lockdown available for Emluo. But Athena's still able to push out towards Sands, answering back with the Spectre. And then the showstopper on the defense, refighting towards B main. At least it connects this time around. Advantage now on the attack, and Claudia is on point for this map.
You gotta love it. Finally gets one there. Confidence again with the showstopper. Right, it just takes one. Get it on the board. A 3-2 there. That buy comes through. Let's see this end play once again at both peak. Nice swing. The donut with the buy doesn't come through. That's going to make this one tough as they kind of spent a little last round, but still going to get the Chico. See if this goes through well. The Emluo ultimate is ready. We're going to have full guns on the side of Complexity here. So they may play a little slower, thinking there was an eco trick happening.
No.
They are ready for it. That has not been covered yet, and we've seen Complexity kind of just taking that space as they were in the area. This time they wait and say, you know what, it's a save, be ready for anything, and they do find one. See if they can convert this fully.
Shuts down the play by CLG. identifying that Complexity have been slightly pushing up towards Dish the last few rounds. Hey, let's try to fight it back, but Complexity had other plans. And now Claudia still, these taps are crisp. From Guardians to Vandals to this place.
Yeah, everybody's got the tappy fingers today. It's looking really nice when we see these 1v1s or 2v2s. I'm really loving it. Any of the fights, honestly. Spike goes down. What are our alts? Easy lockdown denial if they want it. I don't think anything's going to even get that troublesome, though. Oh, the timing. Ah. It's Han. Even though it's not Han.
One enemy remaining.
Raze cleans that up, though.
Yeah, so no guns are going to be saved here for CLG into this round.
Right.
Even Athena stopped by the wall, so trying to go for the aim battles, trying to build the orbs up, trying to make it expensive. But it's not going to happen. But you mentioned it, Riv. It's no gun save, but still. Sheriff save that we had on the previous round. We're looking pretty healthy into this gun round here.
Mm-hmm.
This time, Rolling Thunder available for Kara.
I think CLG might be getting too predictable in their defense. I mean, there isn't much other way to play a breach raise setup for A. Let's be honest.
Yep.
That fault line into a blast pack is really powerful. But if your enemy can identify that, it's going to be really tough. A quick blind. I think that did hit Lace, so they are aware somebody's arcade. And they get this push. So it still's taking space. We can't fault them for running this defense if you're taking space and you're getting the info, because you are allowing B site to know they have a bigger chance of being hit. But it seems to be this satellite each time.
Yeah. I'm still okay with this too, right? Fighting towards the A holes.
A main control is fine.
Exactly. Complexity have been trying to plant for A main too, so it gives CLG the opportunity to fight back in that area.
Oh.
But look at where we are on that minimap. We're still pushing towards A main, but Raze is all the way on the other side. If they don't full clear this becomes a beautiful late lurk and are flanked back onto Raze, and it starts. Rolling Thunder long range denied by Mlua, but Lace also moves in. Raze, though, spotted by Dodona by the 6th sense. So this now allows CLG to go for the retake with Seekers. It comes out now, spawning Lace into the site, getting 1 kill there. But Claudia and Kara still setting up that drop. Both dropping in. Claudia gets the trade. Has to clutch her 2 versus 1 now. Spots both of them. Forced to reload, but it's not planted for her. Nano storms to the lane. Spots the first one. Headshot onto the first. The tap onto the full stick. Now off it. Dodona gets the kill and will get the defuse after all.
Whoa, that got tight there. That was close, and a big round for CLG too. There's hundreds in the credit side right there. They are not in the thousands, so that is a must-needed round to start to break down the economy. They play that one smart. I think we had a little bit of early activation there, and just kind of a panic on the mollies. Nobody was even defusing yet. A little bit of time could be delayed, but these moments are so tight you can't fault anybody. Right, you're getting shot at by 2 people. You're trying to delay. Like, it is coming down to the wire, so no faults can even be had. 3-4, 4-3, I should say. Still, Complexity has a bit of a lead, but it's like they give each other only a few rounds, and then they start to come back and make it even tougher on the economy. Oh, what a play to Arcade.
We want to change the pace here. Fighting out towards the back of the boxes. Rolling Thunder comes out on the big hit. And to crunch it before. Nice wall here just to slow it down. And Claudia comes up for the front. But disadvantage still. Ult available. We're going to slow things down. Lace has an opportunity for a res. It will be for Raze, who also has the orbital strike. 3 players now for CLG just holding back towards Jenny. And they're already rotating over towards the spawn. I love this because the wall's still up. It's going to become a huge battle into the A site now, Riv.
It's really awesome to see these instant answers happening right away for huge plays, big abilities. Each team has an answer, but do they have it for this? Double at the drop. Can they get them all?
That was nice. I felt at some point, Riv, it was going to be dangerous because both Emily and Dodonut are walking out of this smoke when Athena had a flash available, but they just wanted to play the surprise factor, the surprise game, being under the staircase, and that's a barrage of bullets that greets the 3 players trying to get into the site. We're tied up 4-4.
So this is the round. 2,900 for a loss. I mean, Complexity might even be able to buy each other after this. in a low buy. So CLG
Agreed.
still has a lot of work to do. Let's see what they got. The defense is big. 2 ultimates ready. Raze does have a big one, but the push.
Fight
they're
towards
trying to
3,
get
lots of
through.
flashes. The Donut still gets the first kill. Showstopper out, big flash, connection on Takara. Pain shells into the corner. Lace is trapped. Athena then gets the kill. What an aggressive play by CLG.
It's a play you have to go for the throat. You know your opponent may be on their last leg for economy, and you make a play that you have not made before. CLG finally come out of the gates. It's not an A push. All of that utility from Killjoy, from Mluo is now at A. That's why the A team is B, and they pushed out. Well, Raze is going to stop it, though.
So another player on the top of B Heaven. Lockdown available for the retake. A push towards the top. The Donut's just waiting around the corner on the off angle. Catches Cody off guard. The fake clear. Not understanding that there's probably
Ninja
somebody
advantage.
just playing on that ledge. And yeah, big advantage. Raze has to come up huge as they get spotted now by the Boombot left behind by Dodonut. Satchel breaking across our placement, looking back towards the left. But it's going to be a lot to look for. And a flick to the right. But the left doesn't pay off. That was so close, but what an attempt.
No way. Wow. Those were some snappy shots.
Oh.
Flick of the day right there. Nicely done. Almost a 4K too, but finally stopped. And you can see just how tense these moments are getting and how close the calls have to be. Like this play, they were kind of messing around a little bit, but then it got caught messing around. You don't want to get caught messing around, Van Silly.
Yeah.
That might be the timeout call. It's like WTH.
First one of the series.
WTH. Hey, what's going on? Right?
Yeah.
So, no, I'm just kidding. That's still playing well. But yeah, keep your head in it. We have to finish these rounds out. Close them. Don't play with your food. Would be the first thing I would say. But the rounds are looking great with the way they're hitting them. Alt Orb Focus could be a way that Complexity goes back again. This also has to be make sure you're recognizing the switch with Mluo and where we're going to be having trouble taking the site. Because right now they've quite avoided that Killjoy utility when trying to attack. And we've seen a lot of A plays after the initial push of CLG. Most of the plays coming through satellite, though.
So Sloth calling this timeout for Complexity. The early fights then from CLG on Arcade, on Tree, not allowing Complexity to build up on these ult orbs that you mentioned before here, Riv, that they've been focusing a lot in their moments where they actually had lower economy. But now off this timeout, lockdown has yet been used by Claudia. They're trying to find an opportune moment to use it to this round number 10. Instead of playing aggressively like they have been trying to do in the last few rounds, they go back to what worked, what strung them a couple of rounds at the beginning. A default into the front. The bait coming out from Jazzikins. Paint Shells jumping forward. Donuts around the corner. But then that's Jazzikins opening up with 2. Beautifully done. And that's going to be an opening door for Complexity to take, but they decide to fall back into B-side instead.
Oh, this becomes a tough round, Van Silly. 2 for Complexity already. That's huge. This is the round that resets Complexity's money, but with all the damage they've done, this round resets CLG's 2. Mluo doing everything they can to stop this.
Paint Shells putting Han across the corner. Flash coming out from Jenny as well. So all 3 players now identified of where CLG are playing from. And it's still Han fighting long range. The Phantom coming into play. Lockdown coming in for the bottom 2. And that's going to slow back Complexity. Looking to pull back, looking to fall back. With 30 seconds left. Still a lot of the map to play with on a 2 versus 2. A full heal coming out from Blaze 2. And we're still coming in for the A-site hit.
Dude, doesn't matter who wins at this point. Nobody's going to have money. It's going to look like such a weird round next round. Oh my gosh.
This time does not connect though. Down to 50 HP, a dink to the wall.
Planning safe.
Yep. Still comes in, so we're both going to play inside the site. No more utility left here on the attack. Turret, vault line, aftershock available for the defense. Great opportunity to push Kara away from the default spot. And there he comes. Mluo gets the first kill, and the aftershock somehow also lands on Lace's feet to get the kill.
CLG.
Didn't think that could happen.
Did not. Honestly, the having the aftershock at that point with the round take and a huge plays from Han on this one, sticking steady at generator. I think there was a bit of a miscomm on just kind of who was clearing tower, who was clearing. And as soon as Han got the first frag, their first frag, it opened up. You see, look, It's like you're just trying to jump into sight at that point. Like, oh, well, I got fault line. So heck of utility usage that round coming in from CLG. Keep the Killjoy over to B now. And we switch that team of A back up that's going to push out. Arcade hit for Complexity. It does not seem like they have an answer now for what CLG's figured out. Maybe it becomes a tough hit here.
Blinded.
Or, sorry, just a hard hit. Holding W, I mean. There we go. Yep.
Tough to moving into the B site. Stinger in the hands of Jazzykins. You hear the orbs being picked up too. But it's not going to be for Jazzykins because this is off an entry or off a death. She gets the ult into the next round. Beautiful smokes coming in, so still we got a plant.
Planted. Finished.
Oh no.
Oh no. They avoided everything by coming in through tower. And then Jazzykins just walked out on the red carpet of Molly's. Great job in there by Emluo.
Okay, still have a lineup here. You see Ray setting up towards the arcade. First off, Seeker's coming out on the defense, trying to get the Molly down onto that spike, but still has no opportunity to set that up yet. Wants to start potentially, I was going to say with the orbital strike, but instead chooses to move in and trade off with her teammates, or their teammates rather. And it's going to be CLG capitalizing onto that round in the end.
Last round in the half.
Wow. CLG is much different. I feel like they're bringing momentum from the first game. They're clicking. Everybody's online now, no pun intended. It just feels much more like they have synergy going on within the squad. Easy cleanups, easy plays, and everybody's confident. When you don't have confidence and you're kind of second-guessing angles or not checking angles or not coming right, that's when everybody's looking in circles. That's when you're all discombobulated. It seems like CLG has their heads on straight here as we come into round 12. Once again, they will decide to push this A hull as per usual. They don't hear anything. They'll play towards contact. I'm pretty sure that Han just heard that rope. You see a quick rotation coming over from Athena right now. They're going to be 3 now in hulls.
Off the Trailblazer, holding towards a spawn. It's going to spawn one over here. But will they identify? Oh, yes, they do. From that fault line for sure.
Double!
Kara got rid of that showstopper once again. And a rolling thunder pushes them back. 3 players still alive, and the lurk coming up here from the arcade by Claudia. Mentioned her before, has been on point. And those opportunities, those swing rounds. No orb pickup. No attempt at moving in to try to get a res up into this last round. As here comes that lurk. Stopped. Right away. And dude, everybody's just landing shots right now as Kara just gets a one-tap onto Emluo. A flash in comes in, Emily looks out towards the canteen. Beautiful display, a back and forth from both of these teams. CLG, they win the half 8-4.
Man, everybody's got the clicky fingers, fans. It's making for some spicy plays.
I want these clicky fingers, Riv.
Emluo as well, like, kind of flying under the radar in some rounds, coming up big on those, great utility placement, just anchoring the rest of the team as well, playing it smart. Dodo back on the board with the showstoppers these last few rounds. CLG just running the show on that first round. You see everybody kind of had a star power rounds, and that makes it really, really difficult to take them down. Can they keep it going, though, on the attack side? See what happens here. Complexity can have that kind of defense. You see a few ghosts here, Van Silly. So if Complexity, I feel like, keep this at range pretty good, they may be able to just have the advantage.
CLG has the opportunity of this momentum to bring this over to the third map with how they've been playing the defense. Snappy shots, unaffected by the results of the first map on Pearl. Orb now picked up with 3 players looking to pinch in towards the A site, but on the other end is being held back by a wall here by Lise.
Not
we
too
fight
much
back for
movement just
CLG.
yet. Yep.
2 players out towards the doors. It stays open. Long range, though. It's going to be raised with the first blood. Healed it on to Jazzykins. No, it missed. Actually, there's just a self-heal from Lisa to herself. It's okay, though. Spike now planted. Athena moving in towards the A ramp. As the fault line comes out, then the wall bang. The heal's not even needed when you wall bang like Jazzykins. Pushing it down for the retake. 2 players for the trades. It's still going to be Emily. The right-click classic, trying to reload. Gets another one there. Then alarm breach of 1 versus 1. Breach on breach. Aftershock available. Delay. Deny from Han. Fault line also available as well. As we avoided Novakara. Sweeter across the corner. The right-click classic as CLG wins the pistol.
CLG moving so quick on that. Their movement kind of had Complexity at a standstill. They were in the site planting, and CLG was kind of still wondering, is the spike here? Is this going to happen? The way that CLG hit that site, you saw it was the rotation still worked for Complexity towards the end a little bit, but it was later than it could be. So CLG pulling the trigger there once they were fully in position, definitely catching Complexity off guard. What was that, Raze? I see that, Bucky. Okay, it's just gonna be a classic. Going, talking to the dealer, be like, "You got any coupons? I'll take something."
See some of that. We've seen some Bucky here and there.
Yeah,
nice.
Absolutely. It's tough on this unless you get somebody real close, and it would have been in sand. So door opens, you get a face full of buckshot, so that could have worked. But a little closer here, they're waiting for the fault line as soon as they get noise off Jazzigan's call.
Trailblazer spots this close. Fault line then comes in on the attack, but still Raze once again.
Down.
Answering back on Dodona, trying to create the space. Aftershock then flushing Complexity away. But they have the angles now. They have the numbers. They even have their heal to come back up and be back at 100
Exactly. Like, reset. Why not? You still have a bit of KJ util over, or Killjoy utility at B, holding arcade. Simple eye hold towards the B main.
Gambling.
Oh, no way they're making the right call. I feel like this could be a re-hit. But all in on B, this is going to get messy and in a good way. I can't wait to see how this happens. There's like no util for the side of Complexity, so they're going to have to play this one really tricky. Oh.
Maybe time, I was going to say, could maybe time a smoke too in the front of B. After the footsteps are being heard, 2 playing closer to right click, and it works out. That's 2 on the ground. That's Spike as well. Spike now picked up by Mluo. 20 seconds left on the clock. You have to commit it to the B site. Raze looking to make the play, counting the bullets on a reload from Emily, but saved by Mluo.
10 seconds.
Close it up now, and it's still too good for Complexity. They answer back with the Thrifty. A full classic with cheese.
A full classic, absolutely. Stack them up. No utility to be used. The tricks, all of them played on that round. Very nicely done by Complexity. There's no way they should have won that, but they found it. They found it. Oh, that smoke was so pivotal in it happening, and that was somebody with Raze in there. Absolutely huge.
Yep.
And they're going to have some weapons now. CLG feeling the hurt in the economy there, and it's going to be just a friendly for Mluo. Woohoo! Jazzigan starts it off this time.
Push him back, try to fight forward. See if you want to grab that orb, and Donut's like, hey, please don't go. There's pain chills behind us.
I'm hurt. Heal me.
Resby Jet. But no, it's still going to be quiet now for CLG. Complexity okay to not play for the orbs this time around. Farm up with the SMGs that you have. The big coming out, but we're just looking for this plan. Like, look how scattered we are across the map for CLG. Just trying to pull any type of rotation that we can, just to go for the 300 plant.
Got a nade out here. So where was Killjoy? Up here? Perfect. Oh, so they are going to focus this. And that's just to get Mluo at half.
Oh. Can't get the lurk out there. They just spotted the Astra. Emily falls back to 20 HP and is now being met up by everybody else of CLG.
Yep.
And this is not looking good at all. But with this smoke, left. I mean, if you're going to try to lemmings in, try to get that plant done because you have control of A main. Drop down if you want to, but they're fighting instead for CLG. Now
it's so hard to plant.
Exactly. Just makes it impossible now. Last one now spotted. Flawless about to come up. Unless I cast a curse. Because there's one on low HP.
What?
They're trying to knife! They're trying to knife! Everyone is so blind! Alright, Jazzigan gets it. 4K into the round. Showstopper online. 9-6 score line. As Complexity moves into a very, very good bonus round.
Oh my word. They're looking to just send a message right now. Holy fans. I didn't think we were going to get that this game. The qualifying match? Okay. Okay. Get some spice up in here. Let's go.
Yeah, and apologies,
Get
not a
the
bonus
knife
round there. It was Complexity winning that one, of course, on a full save from CLG.
Right. You still gotta love the antics.
Yes. Oh, okay. Showstopper in!
No shot.
Jazzy gets a little bit of Dodo Nut, unfortunately. Dies from a showstopper. Now that's a Rosal, because that rocket actually did come out this time.
Oh, no.
I see them roses in a chat.
All the way to the other side. They got to stick these 5 together before they go somewhere and make sure they don't get flanked. Complexity is being ruthless after losing Jazzykins this round. They're going to have to take that turret out now. All right, good play there. Good thinking by Claudia as they go, or Emluo, sorry, before they go around.
Yeah. I still like it too, right? They were ADSing down, just waiting for the turret to get spotted to see if anybody's going to swing out on that. But Claudia still gets a kill. Anchoring here towards the A site, but the wall is not that great. Claudia was able to push out of that one. Delay enough to make it a 4 versus 4. And this makes the retake somewhat doable here because you have 2 players looking for the big flank back towards A main.
You got big arms from Breach here. Rolling Thunder is ready. As soon as they start to hear this retake, that's going to hit. And I think they might have to push it towards A main. They missed most of the members.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Han looking to clutch. Aftershock pushing her to the left. The sprays comes in. First kill, but immediately traded out by Kara. So that is going to be Complexity being able to move in for the defuse.
Just on the edge of the Rolling Thunder. Little dance, Claudia. Doing a jig while the defuse goes on. Be careful. If you cut the wrong wire, it's over. But yeah, that becomes unfortunate, right? I think the call, there's like 1 door. Okay, door open. Somebody's going through A halls, but with 3 going through A halls, I don't think that connected with anybody. It may have hit Claudia, but I don't know. Great play by Complexity. CLG looked like they had that one locked up with the Rolling Thunder, honestly.
I mean, I see the idea behind that. I mean, they were trying to Rolling Thunder towards Sands and A main and try to fight in front of that Slorb, right? So they still had pressure towards
there was like
A
a
main
sliver
on
of hiding space to get out of it.
So still an opportunity to fight back, but those shots just landed there for Complexity instead. CLG back onto Nico. A little bit of damage done. Weapon available, but they still have to cross across Arcade. Little did they know, though, for CLG, nobody's playing it yet. Well, actually, we do have a spot from Lace, who's actually using an operator on defense this round.
I mean, it's anything like the Marshall, we're in for a show. I can't wait to see.
A Marshall?
Under the Marshall. Oh, God. I was like, did I say it like that? And then I was like, nope, it's just Van Silly.
It's just me. That jokes. I'm still here.
I should know.
I'm still old.
All right, where are our stars? One's already Jenny. They're going to start going off here. Up shot maybe through the corner as they get up top. That's going to miss. Spike is not in yet, though. It's actually quite late, so you might get early utility here from Complexity that is in CLG's favor. But no, they're holding. Here we go.
Everybody's hit from this. Every single person is hit from this on the attack. 2 stuck on top of Heaven. Athena trying to sell the bait so the other 2 could swing out at some opportune moment. Fall back down towards the arcade. But there's no time left. You have to come into this site or have Han just hold this Phantom.
Good shot. One last hit.
Second flash.
Oh, this is so big!
10 seconds left.
Han comes nuclear into this round. 2 versus 1, off available. The timing on all of this jiggle pick from Athena is huge, allowing Han to get a better position. Phantom now picked up, clearing out towards the generator side. There is still going to be Han watching from behind.
Woohoo! Van Silly, these rounds.
I didn't think it was available, Riv. I didn't think that Han was going to be able to do this with, what, 15 seconds left.
Absolutely ridiculous, and it's taking everybody. I think you saw a little bit of that in it. Athena was almost peeking that corner, right? Giving it, hitting that edge quick to get a quick shot, like you said, and then I feel like everybody's like, we're spikes down, retreat, right? And everybody plays like, and there is so much teamwork going on to make that happen, and that flash, that flash rung out for what felt like years.
Yep.
Oh, we've all had that one. 2 of them. 4 eyes absolutely burned. 10-7 here in round 18. Complexity looking to scrape these rounds back. Take 2 maps in a row, but CLG not going quietly, looking to stay alive here in this best of 3 qualifier match. Nothing on this round just yet. It's almost a mirror of ultimates, except you have the showstopper for the Brimstone ult here, so we may see a double lockdown play.
Saw a showstopper being picked up too by Donut at the beginning of this round. Han, as you mentioned here, looking to farm these orbs for the Rolling Thunder. CLG, I mean, they're still kind of pushed up to get a lot of control towards this B site hit. On the other end for Complexity, gonna be a full lockdown retake. So off the showstopper, will CLG decide to move and gain space towards spawn? Now that they see that the B site is fully open.
Blinding. That's not ready.
Easy take. Slow waiting for Jazzykins to come around here. I don't think Athena's going to be looking. Oh, no, they turned. Athena
10
turned.
seconds left.
Just got spotted. Orbital strike coming through, denying for a bit. 5 seconds left on the clock. Showstopper misses.
Planted.
Lockdown still available for Claudia. So we're shifting things around, but the lockdown's over. ADSing here from the top of B Heavens. As Emily gets a nice shot coming in. Kara now pushing forward. Another one.
Oh,
Clean by Emily. A third. Spots the shoulder of Blaze. Who then lands it onto Athena.
3v2.
Still somewhat doable. Because the Rolling Thunder is playing towards the boxes. And yep, we're choosing the other tactic for Complexity. To save our weapons into the next round. Rolling Thunder was going to be too much to deal with on the pulse plant.
Oh, Complexity, knowing they have a little bit of room to work with, but not much. Still, map in their favor, which is never something you play with as like a win condition to the round lost, right? So I know that sounds weird, but that's not what they're doing. It just, you know, it feels to them like they can take a moment, take these saves, and still be smart about the way they play the next few rounds without that much pressure on them. That's what that kind of means.
What's challenge?
We see the scores. We see the scores here. Challenge Complexity. Timeout. We're challenging the timeout? Uh-oh. The scores for everybody in this game are awesome. Like, everybody's there fragging out. Everybody's participating when they need to show up. Assists are there. We got triple doubles for the ones in the middle there. You always love to see it. And, yeah, it's been a team game orchestrated by everybody here, especially when you have this no duelist comp, or I was going to say no duelist comp, but we have duelists now. I don't know where I wanted to go at that point, to be honest.
I wanted to go with the fact
I pulled it from Pearl. I pulled it from Pearl, and it wasn't Pearl.
I wanted to go with an even weirder question with, did Tanner actually try to predict a 2-0 for Complexity, which is why we're currently seeing this scoreline? I didn't remember from what they were saying on the analyst desk there when they presented this map. Did we go with predictions on there?
I don't know. Tanner tries to do a lot of things, so I'm not sure.
True.
Yeah.
True. He never tries to mute himself, though.
Oh, no. Unmute himself, you should say.
That's true.
Production in our ear, I love it.
Big timeout, though, that comes in for Complexity, right? Being called by Sloth, the last one into their map. Lockdown that's been available forever. It feels like I'm a broken record saying that it's always available for Claudia, but they haven't had a great opportunity to use it so far. CLG were making a lot of noise at the beginning of this round, making sure that nobody's flanking Elise from Jazzykins, who's been trying to do it a few times before, but she's just looking to fight head-on here from the generator into Arcade.
We'll see what this timeout does. It is a bit of a switch up. We move some of this utility from Killjoy over towards A, so Claudia's playing a different position, as you were mentioning. And here comes the hit straight across Arcade. So this is going to be a free-to-run Complexity, trying to see where CLG is. Smokes are ready to come in from defense.
Complexity looking to actually fight through these smokes potentially. We heard the satchel charges coming in. Molly in the front. Plat now coming down. Athena being fully taken down by so much utility at the dice and finally gets spammed away by Raze. But lockdown available here on the attack as there you go. We're moving down to the low ramp. Both ults now being used. Kara still opening it up. And we're just going to try to go for the full defuse if we can.
One more.
Paint shells on the top two. We're going to have some players detained here.
Colorful kill.
Yeah, we have some players detained. More than being detained. Moving into a second kill. Now retreating for a post plant. What up being done by
There's a
CLG.
nade.
Yeah, dude, this is over. CLG plays this perfectly.
Enemy remaining.
Good. Wait.
There's
Oh
no time.
my
There's no time.
gosh.
The nades let on the top. What a play by CLG.
Match
I love
point.
this. It's like watching an actual game of like Mousetrap. There's so many little gimmicks that they have to actually get in there and just nab their opponent, get out, and keep messing with them. Oh, it's so good. Can't get the defuse, little defuse dance, but it's not going to be enough. Blows up. 12-7 now. CLG say, no way, it's going to be a 2-0. We're staying in this qualifying match, and we're bringing it to a third. They have put up such a fight here, especially when Complexity keeps grabbing 1, 2, 3 rounds in a row and going on these runs. That makes it really hard for the economy to settle down for the side of CLG. They've been working with scraps a lot of the time, but making those scraps work, Vansily.
And we're just looking to play very aggressively in towards the A main. So playing it closer to Seekers could actually try to clear out towards A. And it works out. They spot the first one, but Jazzican still answers back before it gets hit. Raise long range with the Guardian. Pass two of their own. As that is Satchel charge. The swing on the right.
Jazzy.
What a play by Jazzicans. They don't care that they just got owned by a lockdown on the previous round. Complexity answers back. Mlua on the lead lurk. And we'll have to try to clutch it.
I don't think I've ever seen a Raze use blast packs more for like a, here you go, just like, this is for you. I love it. I love the way Jazzy just always tosses those out. Tosses out another one, a 3K for the multi-kill round coming through. And we're going to see 12-8 here. So 4 more chances for Counter Logic Gaming to come through with this victory and bring us to a map 3. Ascent would be that map. Okay, actually a good map for both teams, honestly, looking at the recent statistics.
Yeah.
I wonder if they still take Chamber on it too, so it'll be interesting. Seeing the Chambers played and how they're still played as less aggressive or more Sentinel and how people choose is always super interesting, but not yet. We're on Fracture and there's still possibly 4 more rounds and maybe even more for an OT to go here. Complexity keep this run. A full buy for both sides. Alt point for Raze coming up. For Brimstone Raze, and then we'll see if Complexity can make that happen, or maybe even a Res.
There is definitely still a Alt Orb available here for Raze as Jazzicans to get one here, so an opportunity for Complexity to spin some rounds back should they open up a couple of kills. But it looks to be a full play retake. Cosmic Divide, a rare one that we see on the attack here for Emily as the plant comes in for a long. Players playing just behind the wall, looking for a pop flash and a swing through towards Sands, and Lace gets spotted. Showstopper going into Sands, into the front, and Blue falls. That is no Rosa. Door not being open. The trade-off doesn't work out. Emily drops 2 of her own. And on the top, it's Han, hiding around the corner, right onto the spike. The spray misses, though, there's the aftershock, can't get it! Raze gets the kill from behind! The heroic play from him! And the second one down to Emily. Keeps the dream alive for Complexity. As Raze in these moments, they always come up heroic. Huge plays.
Oh, the hiding Han I thought was going to be the playmaker. Seeing one, but then a second, couldn't choose target, panic shot a little bit. Oh, and then Raze coming up from the back of stairs, completely snuffed that out, but Jazzykins continues. How many, honestly, there has been a lot of ults from Jazzykin, whether they hit or not. Sourcing so many showstoppers throughout this series has definitely had an impact, and the team can follow up wholeheartedly right after those pretty confidently. We see them coming through, able to take the site and just dwindling the numbers of CLG once again. 12-9, a quick tech pause coming in here, Vansily. So a breather for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Just for a moment here in this game that has been chaos. Both teams really rising to the occasion too with these flick shots, the snappy taps. I feel like everybody, if you can set a firing mode for your mouse, it's just on single click, and that's where everybody's at. These shots look so good.
And that tech pause didn't last too long.
Nope.
Probably headphones falling as Complexity's cheering in the Complexity facility after that type of chaotic win. And you talk about room
Hands
for breathing
in the air,
off the tech.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. But you talk about room for breathing here off the tech pause. It's also room for breathing into this round. Full sheriff round for CLG. Statistically looking better for Complexity, of course, with the rifles that he's bringing into this round and also the ults. We're trying to fight aggressively. We don't care that it's going to be on an eco here for CLG. We want to fight back. Numbers advantage, weapons advantage. Funneling CLG towards the A site where they have all of that KJ utility left behind by Claudia. But CLG are just, there you go, finally. We were cutting noise before, but some of them are running back here towards the A site to sell a fake.
Another Jazzy can ult, or sorry, Dodona ult. Looks like they're waiting to see if they can grab it here. May smoke from MLE for the cover. Oh yeah, there's one there.
Oh yeah.
And they get the smoke that could give them what they want here. Yeah, back down to get that.
Lots of utility being used. Boombots kissing each other. As now all of CLG are running towards this A side, but that's what we talked about before. Funneling the split back into a full KJ util.
Yep.
Double players inside the site. Somebody's got to watch that drop. Door now being open. And it's going to be Lace holding for a bit. 10 seconds and the plant will come down. Flashing coming out. Athena picking up a weapon. And now Han. Rolling Thunder available off this plant.
Enemy remaining.
But it's a Rolling Thunder. No Rolling Thunder available. But it's an orbital strike pushing Han away. Can it end this way? Onto the spike. Raze gets the kill.
No way. This is how these rounds are ending, Vansily. Oh my gosh.
Dude, rolling, I don't know what it is, Ray. Rolling Thunder at pro level seems to mean F all. Just
accuracy buff.
Nothing. Exactly.
Accuracy buff. What is going on right now? These shots at Sand was just absolute battle. Great trades going back and forth, and you thought that one was going to be the closer, but steps out the low HP, and in the eyes of a flash, just looks right at it and fires before the flash goes off. So knowing, I mean, there's no other way, right? You're almost forced to take that straight to the retinas, burn them out, and hope you hit the shot. 12-10, 4 chances they had, and it feels like an eternity ago. We've only gone through 2 of those chances. We have another 2 more for CLG to take this. They're in a timeout now.
That's it. This time for Shinobi to call it out or CLG. A rare sight as it was CLG across the board throughout this whole game. Emily has been on point from the first map into the second one. Top of the scoreboard.
Absolutely.
They mentioned it on the desk before. Lemon Kiwi saying, hey, you know, Emily's star performance on Pearl wasn't enough here because, you know, the rest of the team had to follow up behind. But look at this. Han at 17, M. Lewis 16, Dodona at 16, Athena at 11 with 9 assists. Like, all of these girls are definitely putting up a fight here for CLG, but Complexity are slowly but surely coming back into this game. We talk about stacking these ults round after round. There's only 2 rounds separating this until we bring this into an overtime potential.
Dodona back on 1. They still have the same setup here. A little more of a push, though, down. They want to make sure they get some ultimates for Kara here. Oh, my gosh. The way these ults are being acquired and what they honestly mean for these rounds is so incredible. The teams are sneaking these orbs so often because each team has such an agenda at the beginning. Can't believe they're able to execute each one. Let's see if they can combine here. Now towards B, it looks like the hit comes from Arcade. But there's a little love towards A. I think they're trying to sell a fake. See, Complexity's held like a rock on defense, though, Vansily.
Yeah. We're Rolling Thunder available. Dodona now with the showstopper. It leans for CLG for a hit into the A site with a late lurk from M. Luo back towards Arcade. Nanoswarms, you see it set all across the map on the A site. A slow coming through just to split it off, allowing the showstopper to move in alone.
30 seconds
Nano
left.
Swarms then comes in. A little bit of damage done. Showstopper close. And Claudia playing close into the Nebula on the off angle. First blood onto Emily.
Spike
Plant
planted.
still comes in no matter what. Rolling Thunder then on the defense. Back towards Sands. We're jumping across. This time we get the Rolling Thunder buff for the defenders. Jazikins opens it up towards Sands. At the drop, a fight from Dodonut. Answering back for CLG. But Lace doesn't want to go down without a
3v2.
fight. Red's still available, but not too far. They cannot give the Reds
Enemy
away.
remaining.
Big flash coming through as it blinds both Han
Enemy remaining.
and both Jazikins as Emilio makes it a 1 versus 1. The bait race potential. The swing across. Emilio! She gets the Red Bull clutch and wins the round for CLG. What a flick of a kill.
What? Are you? Absolutely.
I know, it's insane. It's insane.
There are no words for what we just saw. For the bait of the Sage Rays to not even work. The flank of Emluo was the key to that round. The only way they win, the hard flank, you called it. There were still 3 on the site that needed to be faked out on B to rotate over to A. The team sold it. The rocket in from Dodonut, this sells the showstopper, and then you have to call upon the gods. You have to call upon Emluo. For the end of that round, absolutely incredible. I mean, no more words do that play justice on.
On top of that bait Riv, sorry, it was, well, Riv, same thing, you know, synonyms. But it was a wide swing that came out too from Lace. Just to make sure that you can try to break the crosshair placement and to transfer onto a tap. It wasn't even a spray. That's a lot of momentum going in for CLG right there.
If you think we were lying about the one taps today and we're like, oh yeah, one taps, there's a few rounds.
Oh yeah. Usually it's about
Sold.
Scream with the one taps, but this time it's about the 10 players in this server for the game changers. Well, with that, folks, we will have a third map, and it's going to happen after this break.